Hey everybody, this is D Swizz Wildcat. Really appreciate it if you hit that like and subscribe and share the video on all major platforms. Let's go ahead and get into this video. Alright, so today I wanted to talk about some key position groups on UK's depth chart, and then I wanted to give you maybe some predictions stat-wise and where I project this depth chart being by the end of the season. So we're going to start in the wide receivers. Start off with Dane Key, freshman with a ton of hype. Really long body, possession type receiver. This dude is going to win one-on-one battles in the SEC in the red zone. Just watch for him to moss people. I mean, absolutely dunk on top of him. This dude is legit, and he will be for the next 3 years. Next up, we have DeMarcus Harris. And DeMarcus Harris has been with us for a while. He's a redshirt junior. I'm not really sure how that works out with the COVID year, if he's actually a senior. Who knows? Redshirt, or that COVID year threw everybody off. But he's a redshirt junior listed on here. And this dude's been with us for a while. He's never really shown anything, and that's saying a lot because our wide receiver talent hasn't really been there, and he hasn't been able to break away from the crowd, so to say. Really don't see that changing. He's had multiple shots, and honestly surprised to see him listed number 1 here. I think if Barian Brown enrolled earlier, that would be his spot. Next up, we have Tavion Robinson in the slot, and I've seen some of the highlights of this dude. I mean, obviously nobody in the SEC really watched a ton of Virginia Tech unless you're just a big Virginia homer. But from what I've seen, he's shifty, he gets open, and I think that'll work really well in Rich Scangarillo's offense. I think he'll, if it's anything like Leon Cohen's, he's going to know how to use those gadget-type players. I think that's what Tavion will be. If I had to guess, we're probably looking at 750, 800, 850 yards, throw in 6 or 7 touchdowns there. Will Levis really likes that slot receiver, or maybe that was just Wan'Dale Robinson being OP last year. It remains to be seen. As the backups to them, they have him listed Barian Brown. That dude, I guarantee it, by the end of the season will be a starter. He's too good not to be. Super highly rated receiver coming out of Tennessee this year, and it was a huge recruiting win for us over Tennessee. We stole him from their backyard. I really suspect this dude will have over 500 yards this year, and that's saying a lot for him to probably not start the first few games. Like I said, if he came back in the spring, dude's probably a starter right now and would probably have over 800 yards by the end of the season. Next up, we have Chris Lewis. This guy he's a redshirt freshman this year. He didn't play a ton last year, but received a lot of hype, and so remains to be seen on him. And the next guy, Rasan Lewis. Now, this is the son of Ray Lewis, the Ravens Hall of Fame linebacker. And this dude's a little on the smaller side, but really shifty and really good hands. He makes these great contested catches, at least in practice. Now, in the spring game, he had a few drops, and I really didn't like to see that, but he also broke a couple of big plays. And honestly, I think there's a lot to like about him. And I'm not going to go into the 3 deep because this video would just be too long. So next, we're going to move on to the tight ends. They have Keaton Upshaw listed as the number 1 here, but I'm not too caught up on that because I feel like we're going to be doing a lot of 2 tight end sets. So I'm just going to say Isaiah Cummings and Keaton Upshaw are the starters here. Isaiah Cummings, I really like. He's a wide receiver 2 years ago, switched to tight end this year, or the past year. And the dude, he's a wide receiver at heart, but the dude's gigantic. I mean, he'll go up, and I remember the play against Vanderbilt last year. He just took it off the dude's helmet. Now, Vanderbilt's not that good, so that's not saying a lot. But there's a play against Tennessee, just caught it in between 3 defenders and just drug him into the end zone. I expect a lot of that this year. We have, like I said, Keaton Upshaw. We haven't seen him in about 2 years. 2020 was the year we just had an anemic pass offense, and he was the one bright spot. And then, obviously, 2021, he got hurt and missed the whole year, which was sad because I feel like he had a big year coming. And this is his redshirt senior year, so this is the last one to nut up or shut up, you know what I mean? So I feel like combined from the tight ends, we're going to get over 1,000 yards from them, probably 10 touchdowns at least. Third string, we have Brennan Bates. Strong dude. This is probably the best run blocking tight end we have, so I expect to see him in a lot of heavy sets, you know, paving the way for Lavelle Wright and Rodriguez there. Expect them to have big years. Okay, we're going to move on to the lineman right here. We got DeAndre Buford, solid guy, not a lot to be said there. Kenneth Horsey, this is a guy that's really going to hold it down. He's been playing forever, really senior dude. He's going to be the rock. Eli Cox, super smart dude. He's our center this year. I believe he moved over from guard. Basically, you just put the smartest dude at center. That's just how it is. Tayshawn Manning, transfer from Auburn. Some people say he's got draftable hype. Remains to be seen. Jeremy Flax, another dude that's been with us forever. Feel like you've heard that name forever, especially if you played NCAA 14 and you're going through the depth charts and stuff. So, and then the big recruit from this past year, and expect him to get some playing time because Kentucky loves to rotate their guys in and out, keep them fresh for different sets and stuff. Keontae Goodwin. This dude is 6'8", 350 pounds. Dude's a monster, and next year he's probably going to start. Wherever they have to put him, left or right tackle, they're going to make room for him. The dude's just too good not to. He's too big. If they can keep his weight in check, which this dude's got a motor, I believe he's going to keep it in check. That he's going to be a high draft pick. Next up, we have John Young. It's another dude I really like. He's shown a lot of promise, and next year, once Horsey leaves, or maybe Manning, they move him to right guard possibly, expect him to start. Quentin Wilson, this dude's been here forever. He's plug and play. They got him listed here at center, and honestly, he's been just fine at center. Yeager Burton, redshirt freshman. Really excited about him last year. He didn't play a ton, but when he did, he was a serviceable plug-and-play guy. Expect him to start pretty soon. And David Wallabaugh, again, another decent plug-and-play guy. Really, our offensive line I would put up there with anybody in the country. Okay, we're going to move on to running back. So running back's an interesting situation right now. As you guys all know, we have Chris Rodriguez Jr. Nobody knows how many games he's going to be suspended, if at all. I would be surprised if he wasn't suspended at all. But I think most people are saying either 2, 4, or 6 games. I personally think it's going to be 4, and I think we're going to get him back for the Ole Miss game, which would be huge. If we go into that Ole Miss game without him, it could be tough. But I do have confidence in Lavelle Wright. The flashes he's shown us last year, the dude's a little tank. He'll run you over, and he's got the speed to get away from you once he's past you. That's the thing about Chris Rodriguez. Dude is a bulldozer. I mean, he will truck anyone. You can put Brian Urlacher back there, and he'll just shrug him off like it's nothing. But he ain't got that speed to chase away from the DBs and the safeties. He hits that second level, and he'll go about 10 yards. But instead of just being able to run around him, he's, puts his shoulder down. But I love that. Oh, I do love that style of running back. We really haven't had a burner since probably Boom Williams was the last one you saw just boom and take away from somebody. That's why they called him Boom. He broke the speed of light. Lavelle Wright, they have listed as a starter because of the possible suspension coming up. But he'll be Chris Rodriguez's backup along with Kavosiey Smoke. And Kavosiey, kind of had a down year last year. And I never want to talk down on anybody. I hope he bounces back this year. I really do. I like him. But, he's got that kind of pop to him. Not quite as fast as Boom Williams was, but he's got that pop to him. I don't know if it's in his head or what happened. Juton McLean. Really like Juton, especially on them wheel routes coming out of the backfield. Probably a lot of screens coming his way, but there's just too much depth in front of him. He'll get some carries, but nothing crazy. And we're going to move on to fullbacks here. We got Justice Dingle, the brother of Jordan Dingle. And from the spring game, we're going to be using a lot of fullback this year, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. This dude's a big guy, puts his heart out on the line. He'll knock some heads off. We got D. Beckwith, the transfer from Tennessee. Nobody really knows what he's going to be. I don't know if he's going to stay fullback, if he's going to move to running back, wide receiver, tight end. Nobody really knows. I think they're putting him here as just a plug-and-play guy. I think they'll move him around everywhere. I think, honestly, right now, he's probably just getting a hang of the depth or the playbook. Okay, so we're going to move on to defense. Start with defensive line. Defensive end, we got Trayvon Ribka. This dude's been here a while. We expect a good bit of him. I think he's been here 4 years, something like that. So expect good, decent production out of him. He's a big guy. He'll get it done. Justin Rogers. Got hurt last year, but before that, he was on a tear. I mean, this guy was just terrorizing backfields. Expect huge numbers from him. 8, 9, 10 sacks from a nose tackle. It's big, big. At the other defensive tackle, we got Octavius Oxendine. This dude is another one. He got kind of hurt last year, a little banged up. It's another one. He was on a tear. Again, expect 5, 6, 7 sacks from him. Ton of tackles for loss. I mean, these dudes will just eat up backfields. Darian Henry Young is backing up Trayvon Ribka. This is a transfer from Ohio State. And if everyone is supposed to be believed from this preseason, the hype is real. That guy is tearing people a new one. So we got Josiah Hayes. He's been around for a while. You hear his name called every once in a while during the games, but he's never done a ton. And haven't really seen a lot of hype around him in the preseason, but he's always been serviceable. Khalil Saunders, there is a ton of hype coming around him this offseason, and I believe, I don't know, he's probably just another plug-and-play guy, honestly. He hasn't done a lot. I hope he's more than that, but yeah, I don't know. He hasn't done a whole lot yet, so I reserve judgment. And last one I want to talk about here is Deon Walker. He's been getting a ton of hype. A lot of people, I didn't even know he was on the team. I was reading some articles recently. He got put on some type of All-American freshman team or something. But yeah, he might be a name to watch out for. So try to listen for his name this year, especially if, God forbid, there's some injuries and he has to move up that depth chart before he's ready. We'll move to our linebackers. We got J.J. Weaver. Everybody knows what they're getting in him. Dude has the heart of a lion, and he'll just blow anything up. Coming off an injury last year, he was still banged up, and still look at the numbers he put up. Wouldn't be surprised if he's All-American this year. DeAndre Square, this dude's been playing forever. I feel like he's in his 6th year, and I'm here for it. All this just depth and knowledge we have at our linebackers, it's got to be the most experienced linebacking core in the entire country. I mean, look, we got redshirt junior, another redshirt senior in Square, another senior in Jones, another senior in Wright. I mean, these dudes have been playing forever. So there's no reason to expect anything less than a top 10 linebacking core in the country. They're absolute studs. Backing up Weaver, we have Keaton Wade. This dude looks like a grown man. He's 18 years old, fresh out of high school. You see him, the dude is just yoked. I mean, he's going to be legit. Him and his twin, they'll both be legit. Trevin Wallace, dude that returned the kick against Florida last year, and I'm excited about him. I really am. He's just a little in that middle, clogging up the middle there. I expect him to do a lot in relief for DeAndre Square. De'Aric Jackson, he's had some hit sticks now. You don't hear a lot about him, but when you do, it's because he's blowing some dude up late in a Louisville game. And he lays the wood. Tyrese Fearbry, this is a dude we were high on last year, and really glad we picked him up recruiting this year. And the hype on him has kind of died off. I haven't heard a whole lot about him this offseason, but still, coming out of high school, that dude was feared. So we'll see what's going on there. We're going to move on to our defensive backs here. We got Keidron Smith, transfer, and we needed that. We really needed him because looking at our depth chart here, there just wasn't a lot of substance with all the people we had transfer out. Cedric Dort, I forget the other dude's name, but we really needed this. At strong safety, we have Jalen Geiger. Really liked what this dude was bringing to the table last year in relief for some people. And, yeah, if he stays healthy, that's big. Big, big, big. Tyrell Ajon, biggest play last year, Chattanooga game, probably won us that game, returning that pick six, 95 yards. Dude's shown flashes. Hopefully he steps it up that next notch. Really hope so. Backing up Keidron Smith, we have Andrew Phillips, just another plug-and-play dude. Taj Dotson, same, and Zion Childress, same. They're all just plug-and-play guys. I hope they're more, but remains to be seen. At our other corner spot, we have Carrington Valentine. Big personality. This dude has a huge personality, and he's got the play to back it up. He really does. And behind him, we have Kobe Albert. This dude's a freshman, highly touted. I hope it plays out. I really do. I can't wait to see him play. And then we have Jordan Lovett. It's another dude that we got last year. And haven't seen him a whole lot, but heard good things. Matt Ruffalo returns as our place kicker for this year. He was serviceable last year. He did really good, very accurate within about 40 yards. Really doesn't miss a whole lot. Once you get over that 40-yard threshold, that's where our kicks get a little shaky. Punting, we have Wilson Berry. He's another Aussie-style punter, and he was just fine last year. He was all right. He wasn't no I forget the punter's name before him, but he wasn't that other Aussie. Tavion Robinson is going to be returning punts. Seems like a good fit right there. And then kick returner, we got Juton McLean and Michael Donut Drennan. Michael Drennan was supposed to be a huge get for us, and I'm still holding out hope for him, but the more years go on, the more it seems like he's getting buried on the depth chart, so I feel bad for him. But now moving on to Kentucky's schedule, I'm going to give a quick rundown of our schedule and who I think will win each game. So starting in week 1, we have the Miami of Ohio Redhawks. Kentucky takes care of food. We're too good of a program at this point to be messing around with this teams like we did with Chattanooga last year. And I don't see that happening, especially with the early slate that we have. So I'm going to predict a win there. Big win, 28-plus points probably. Next up, week 2, September 10th, we have Florida Gators at the Florida Gators. And I love watching Kentucky play in Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, especially if we wear the chrome helmets. The way the lights shine off them and the way the stadium just goes straight up, you get nothing but crowd coming off the chrome. And I love it. It looks absolutely beautiful, so I hope we wear the all-white with chrome there. But the Florida Gators, I'm not sold on AR-15. The dude has flashes, but I don't know if he's a full-time quarterback. He's probably, to me, more of a gadget player. I don't see him lasting the whole season, honestly. I don't know who better they have, but I don't see the way that guy plays that he's going to last the whole season. And I think Billy Napier will probably make a change, but this is too early in the season for him to see that. So I see multiple turnovers from him. As sound as Kentucky plays, we're not just going to let somebody run all over us. We don't let one player just take over a game. To really take over us, you have to have either incredible scheme like Mississippi State had last year where they were just dinking and ducking us apart, and AR-15 is just not going to do that. I don't care that he doesn't like the nickname. I just don't think he's going to do that. Or you have to have an all-around great team like Georgia had last year. You have to bully us physically, or schematically, and I don't think the Florida Gators are going to do either of that. So I'm predicting a close win here, probably low scoring, sort of like last year. Maybe not that low scoring, probably 28-24 or maybe 27-24, something like that. But I do predict us to get the win there. Youngstown State in week 3. This is kind of a cool game because Vince Marrow and Coach Mark Stoops come from Youngstown, Ohio. So maybe a little bit of homecoming, a little bit of emotions coming in that game. But don't think for a second that Mark Stoops isn't going to want to bury his team in the ground, or his hometown team in the ground. I think we win that one quite handedly. But no mistake, Youngstown State is a very good lower level team. Next up, we have Northern Illinois Huskies, September 24th. It's very good, very sneaky team. A lot of people are going to look at that logo and think, oh, they were, it's just another little lowly team that you should blow out by 50. It's not going to happen. That's a very good, sound team. I think they won something like 10 games last year. I still expect to win easily. Probably 17 to 20 points. Not going to be a huge blowout. They probably keep it close until the fourth quarter. Next up, we have at Ole Miss. Now, this is where I expect us to get Chris Rodriguez back. And I hope we do, because Lane Kiffin is one of those guys, like I said, you have to beat Kentucky with incredible scheme, or you have to beat them with physical dominance. And, Lane Kiffin's one of those guys that can beat you with scheme. So that worries me, especially being on the road. But I'm not hearing a whole lot great about Jackson Dart. I know he was in a QB competition battle that he's just now almost pulled away with. It's still not. It remains to be seen at the time of filming this video. And so maybe not all they were hoping he would be. And so I'm going to give us a close win there. Next up, South Carolina. South Carolina has been our son for the past 8 years. And, they had a good run of dominance with Steve Spurrier. But, we ran him out of town. We ran freaking old Florida coach. I don't remember his name. Ran him out of town. Nobody could beat us. The only time they could beat us is when we had absolutely no quarterback before Lynn Bowden took over. We've won 7 out of the last 8. I don't see that changing this year. Spencer Rattler he's a good quarterback. Don't get me wrong. He'll probably go in the draft this year, probably mid-rounds, 4th, 5th round. Somebody will take a chance on him. Is a decent quarterback enough to increase their win total? Because what they're wanting this year is all those South Carolina fans are expecting, we won 7 games last year. Why can we not take that up a notch and go to 9, 10 wins? They expect that, and maybe Shane Beamer's put too much on them because he knows the actual talent level of that team, and it's just not there. It's not there. Kentucky is miles ahead of them. South Carolina probably finish 4th or 5th, depending on how Florida's season goes in the SEC East. So I predict, especially at home, I predict Kentucky to win that by about 10, 14 points. Next up, we have Mississippi State coming to Kroger Field. Mississippi State is a weird game for us. I think the stat is since 2015 and on, the home team has won every game in this series. Does that continue? I think so. I think last year Mark Stoops was embarrassed. It was coming off of a bye week, and you know how Kentucky is on bye weeks. I think Mark Stoops only has 2 wins coming off of a bye week in his entire tenure at Kentucky. I don't know what it is about that, but I think last year was a fluke. I think we get this win, and I'm not as high on Mississippi State as a lot of other people are right now. I think the air raid's a gimmick. It'll catch you off guard sometimes, like it did last year when the other team is not on their A game, and you just get kind of out-schemed with something you weren't expecting, a little pattern here or there. Because don't get me wrong, Mike Leach is a smart guy. If he sees any tendency in your defensive backfield, he will scheme for it. and he will exploit it. But I think Mark Stoops locks that up this year and doesn't give away any tendencies for them to exploit. Next up, we have our bye week, and then we play Tennessee. And now here is where the bye week comes into play. I'm going to predict a loss here. I don't want to because, man, I'm a Kentucky homer. I really don't want to predict a loss here. But like I said, coming off of bye week, Mark Stoops has just, I don't know what it is. I don't know if he relaxes too much, maybe pushes them too hard during the bye week. I don't know what it is. Or maybe we get just caught up by a better team. Who knows? Tennessee is probably on our level right now. They beat us last year in a very tightly contested game. It was an exciting game to watch. Loved it. I thought we should have won it. But at Tennessee this year, I think Tennessee probably gets that one. Probably another close game, high 40s. Next up, we have at the Missouri Tigers. Missouri is another one we've mostly taken care of the past 7-8 years. We got that win in, I think it was 2015 with Patrick Towles touchdown to C.J. Conrad. Yeah, I think we get this win. I don't think they're physical enough, and I think we just run it down their throats. Vanderbilt, again, shout out to Josh Pate. You don't play with food, and that's what Vanderbilt is right now. No offense to Clark Lee, but they're never going to be the top program in their division, in the conference, let alone in the country. It's just not happening. You can't recruit like that to Vanderbilt. Next up, after that, we have the Georgia Bulldogs coming to Kentucky, and this will be the de facto SEC East championship if my predictions go the way I expect them to. Because Georgia's I know a lot of people are saying, oh, there's going to be, it's so hard to go 12-0, but, there's going to be one loss here or there. I think Georgia very well comes into this game undefeated and may well leave it undefeated. I'm predicting a close loss here. I think this will probably be the closest game we've ever played against them since the very first year of Kirby Smart getting there, where he, didn't really have his team around him. He's a new head coach, all that. But since then, they've just blown us out of the water. I think this year is close, probably single score, 8 to 3 points. But I do think Georgia beats us. They're defending national champions. As much as I want to think Kentucky took that next step up, I don't think Georgia took enough of a step down. Even though they lost all those players, they're just, it's plug and play there. There's no rebuild, it's reload. Next up, we have the Louisville Cardinals. So coming off of a loss, what better team to bounce back with than a little brother that you can just punch in the ground? And I hope we do. I hope we blow them out by 90. Just saying, Cats by 90. And this one applies. Really does. So, L's down. And so if everything that I just predicted goes the way I think it will, then that would put Kentucky starting off the season at 7-0, losing to Tennessee 7-1, winning 2 more straight, getting to 9-1, and then 9-2 with the loss to Georgia, and then 10-2 with the Louisville Cardinals. And that's probably good enough for Sugar Bowl bound, baby. So I think we are a bounce of the ball away from going to Atlanta. I really do. There's multiple ways this could go. Say we beat Tennessee and Georgia gets 2 losses, so the loss to Georgia doesn't matter. Or say we still lose to Tennessee and we beat Georgia. Or maybe Georgia implodes, goes 9-3 with 3 SEC losses, and Kentucky's only 2 losses are Tennessee and Georgia. That puts us at a better conference record. So there's 2 or 3 ways Kentucky could make it to the SEC championship, and I wouldn't be surprised if it happened, honestly. I think Mark Stoops has raised our expectations to that level, and I don't think we're crazy for having those expectations. So don't be surprised if it does happen, but also don't be disappointed. Georgia is such a great team. I think we should be happy. Not happy, but there's nothing to be mad about with another 10-win season. Uh, yeah, so that's where I have us finishing the season, probably ranked second in the SEC East, if not winning it if things go our way. You know, bounce the ball here, bounce the ball there. All right. Now that we're at the end of the video, please just make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Share the video if you enjoyed it on all major platforms. And if you can, in the comments, just give me some constructive criticism. I'm new to this whole YouTube thing, so I'd really appreciate it if y'all could help me out. All right, thank you.